This is an idea I came up with. When you go to cover an epoxy project, because you don't want pesky dust getting into it, this is a pour I'm working on that's 4 inches deep, and it's going to be probably 6 different pours of builds, completely clear, no color. Anyway, when you go to cover it, and I learned this the hard way, when I did my bathtub, which that's a later video, I haven't produced it yet, but when I did my bathtub, and I used DIY's casting epoxy, I was concerned, and I reached out to Josh over at DIY. I'm like, what's going on? It's shrinking from the edges. I can't figure out what's happening with this epoxy. It was the first time I'd ever used a DIY. And we were both puzzled because I put plastic over it to protect it. We discovered what I was actually doing by putting plastic over the top. I was keeping the heat. I raised the temperature of the atmosphere as it was curing because I trapped the heat inside. There was about 4 gallons of epoxy poured of one pour. So yeah, it created an oven where it overcooked itself. So my tip to you, as I'm covering it with this, go to Home Depot, Lowe's, somewhere. This is weed block for gardening. What this will do for you is will keep the dust from settling through, but it'll still let it breathe and let the heat out. So you will not run the risk of overcooking your epoxy. Just one of the tricks I've learned in the last 8 years or so of playing with epoxy.